So how many of you had breakfast this morning? Was it an 8,000 calorie breakfast? I didn't think so, but it's out there. It's called the Monster Mega Breakfast, served at a cafe near Bristol, England. And to prove it to you, we have a video.
Hiya, I'm Lucy from the Portishead Cafe, Corner Caf, and we here do the Monster Mega Challenge. It's a massive breakfast, and you have to do 6 bacon, 6 sausages, 6 fried eggs, 2 3-egg omelettes, 4 portions of fried potato, 6 black pudding, 6 hash browns, bowl of chips, 2 portions of tomatoes, 2 portions of beans, half of a grilled tomato, 4 onion rings, 4 portions of mushrooms, 4 toast, 2 fried bread, 2 bread and butter, and washed down with an energy drink or a pint of Mountain. So 5 people so far have tried the challenge, but none have succeeded. You have to sign away to do the challenge. We have a set of rules as well, some swaps rules that you have to go by. They've all really said that if they prepared themselves more, maybe they could have pushed themselves a bit more. A couple of them said they'll be coming back to try it again, but it's definitely a challenge, hence the reason it's called the Monster Mega Challenge. We've had one person who had about a quarter of it left, which is pretty good considering how much food there is.
So after that, you can probably guess what aspect of being fit for life we're going to talk about today. So the last couple of weeks we've talked about how to get and stay spiritually fit and how to get and stay emotionally fit. Today we're going to talk about how to get and stay physically fit. When it comes to our bodies, we can do one of 3 things. First, we can fixate on our bodies. And I came across an article a while back about this new website that encouraged plastic surgery, extreme dieting, in search for a perfect figure. Not that big a deal in our day and age, you would think, but you're wrong on this occasion, because this website was designed for girls as young as 9 years of age. You see, it was actually a virtual reality game that encouraged girls as young as 9 to embrace breast implants, facelifts, along with diet pills, so that they could stay super fit. The site attracted 200,000 members during its first month in England. The French version boasted of having over 1 million members. You see, the site is only reflecting an already existing reality in our culture, a fixation on our bodies, tying our bodies to our sense of self-worth, whether we can be loved, accepted by others, making our bodies the essence of what will make us happy or whole. But there's another extreme that we could swing to, the extreme of desecrating our bodies. To desecrate something is to violate it, to take something that should be held sacred in esteem and treating it with contempt. So if one extreme is caring too much about our bodies, the other extreme would be caring too little for our bodies. And research has found that right now, in the United States, 2 out of every 3 adults are overweight. 1 out of every 3 of us fall into the category of being medically obese, which is defined as being more than 30 pounds overweight. And 1 out of every 20 of us reach the category of extreme obesity. And the shocking fact is that the numbers are about the same for our children. In fact, there's an article about Disney that they were having to renovate the famous ride, It's a Small World, because it's not a small world anymore. It worked fine when they created it back in the World's Fair in 1964, but since then we've learned this phrase, supersize me. People riding the boats were actually bottoming them out, so they couldn't float anymore, and it stopped the ride. So they had to revamp the entire thing because of rising waves. Then the same thing is happening in the automobile industry. Most two-seat sports cars are only certified to carry 400 pounds. If you have two men over 200 pounds, which is kind of the norm now, you outweigh that two-seat sports car. A 5-passenger vehicle is only safety rated to carry 850 pounds, which sounds like a lot, but when you divide it by 5, means 5 adults would have to average 170 pounds. Over that, you're over the limit. 6 200-pound adults would overload a 7-passenger Dodge Grand Cherokee. So the entire car industry is having to rethink tires, component failures, tip-overs, and crash safety. So you see, we can fixate on it, and we can desecrate it. And before we get into what it means to be truly fit for life, let's talk about the elephant in the room. And I'm the elephant in the room. You see, I have gained weight. When I was in private practice, I walked from courtroom to courtroom, courthouse to courthouse. I was always on my feet, and I was fairly thin. Now I wear shorts to make me look thin. When I got a job as a DA, I sat down almost all day long at a desk. Rarely ever got up. And I quickly put on 20, 25 pounds. So I figured, what could I do to help? So I started watching what I eat, exercising, and this is actually my weight journey. When I started keeping track, I was at 199 pounds, and you see I did a really good job. Lost a lot of weight. Then you can see it went right back up. So that as of this morning, I was 195.5. So what do we do? And I told you at the beginning of this series, talking to myself as much as to you. Because I've put that weight that I lost back on, and it needs to come back off. And I'm trying to do a good job of that. I'm starting to work on it. But I need help just as much as anyone else in this area. So if we are not to fixate, and we're not to desecrate our bodies, what's the third option? We are to consecrate our bodies. And that's not a word we use too much anymore, but it's an important word. You see, to consecrate would mean that we need to lift it up, to make it holy, to set it aside. You see, you set aside for a sacred purpose. And that's what the Bible would actually encourage us to do. In the book of Romans, we find this verse. Offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. You see, most people don't think about their bodies the way that they should. We know it's an amazing thing. For example, the human ear can detect sound frequencies that flutter our eardrums as faintly as 1/1000th of a centimeter. Our DNA contains enough instructions that if written out would fill 1,600-page books. Just keeping my balance while standing still requires over 300 muscles working together in harmony. Our bodies are unique, they're special, and they're wonderful. The Bible tells us even more. In the book of 1 Corinthians, it tells us this. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? Therefore honor God with your body. A heavy-duty theological statement there. The Bible teaches us that our body is a sacred place where God dwells through the Holy Spirit. So when it comes to our bodies, we're holy ground. You're dealing with something that God not only made, but if you are a Christ follower, actually inhabits. It's not just flesh and blood. There's a spiritual dynamic that is part of your body. So caring for it in any and every way needed is part of our responsibility we have before God. If we don't, it can impact us spiritually. The relationship between you and your body is related to your relationship with God. More from the Bible on this. You know the old saying, first you eat to live, then you live to eat. Well, it may be true that the body is only a temporary thing, but that's no excuse for stuffing your body with food. Since the Master honors you with the body, honor him with your body. So how do we do that? You see, you have to live a life where you either eat less or you work out more. And both of those would need to become a lifestyle issue. The ultimate diet would be called Eat Less, Work More. And the book would only be 3 pages long. The first page would say, Eat Less. The second page would say, Work More. And the third page would say, The End. Not a silver bullet. We want one, but there's not one there. That's what you have to do. You have to make eating less and working more lifestyle issues, not short-term diets, fitness fads, fitness spurts. So let's talk about the eating part first. Imagine someone gave you a $300,000 high-performance sports car like a Ferrari. And all they told you was, it's yours for free, but be sure to use quality gasoline. That's all I ask, because if you don't, you're going to ruin the engine. Would you take the deal? Sure would. That's what God has done with us. Many of us have taken the most sophisticated machine ever designed, the human body, and we give it the cheapest, worst fuel imagined. And what's even worse is that many of us don't even realize we're doing that. We're gaining weight by eating all the wrong things, and often too much of the wrong things. We're not even aware of it. So we are at our worst in the areas of fat and sugar. So we need to open our eyes and become aware of where all of this is coming into our lives at. So I want to start today with sugar. Now we all know that sugar is not at the top of the food chain. A high sugar diet can not only lead to obesity, but to tooth decay, mood swings, heart disease, and diabetes. And in fact, the Bible warns us against sugar. In the book of Proverbs, we see this verse. It's not good to eat too much honey, which are sweets. Like a city whose walls are broken down is a man who lacks self-control. Now, most of us probably think we do a pretty good job with our sugar intake. But we're still overweight. So how is sugar getting through? We're watching what we eat, so how is it getting through our diets? It's in ways that we don't even realize. See, 200 years ago, The average person ate 2 pounds of sugar a year. 100 years ago, that had only gone up to 4 pounds of sugar a year. Today, the average person eats around 170 pounds of sugar each year. That's about 60 teaspoons a day. Now, you may not think you're eating that much sugar. So, I want to do a little demonstration. We're going to walk through a typical day for a child. Teaspoon. Thank goodness for Costco sugar. So, your child gets up, wants some breakfast. And I think you'll see that this diet is fairly common. I think some might do better, some might do worse. I think it's probably common. So your child gets up, wants some breakfast. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Honey Nut Cheerios, Fruit Loops, standard breakfast. That would give you 9 teaspoons of sugar. To make their breakfast a little bit more sound, you're going to give them some bread and jam. Another 7 teaspoons of sugar. And of course they need something to drink. Orange juice. It's healthy, it's a fruit. So, orange juice, 6 more teaspoons. You know, I can't talk and count at the same time, so don't be asking me questions when I'm trying to count teaspoons, otherwise they'll be all off. So, we're not even done with breakfast yet. And it's already had 22 teaspoons of sugar. So they go to school, mid-morning snack. They're asked, would you, let's call him Johnny. Johnny, would you like water? Chocolate milk. Any smart child is going to say chocolate milk. So Johnny gets some chocolate milk, and that is going to be another 6 teaspoons. Lunchtime, he has a bowl of cream of chicken soup. Fairly healthy. Still 4 more teaspoons. Might be easier. So, of course, with that soup, there's got to be a dessert. So, Jell-O. Jell-O will add 4 more teaspoons. And of course, a glass of lemonade. 8 teaspoons. And then school's over. Dad picks him up from school. Dad needs a mid-afternoon caffeine fix, so they go to Chick-fil-A. And of course, Johnny wants a snack. I mean, you can't go through the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A and not get something for your child. And, you know, it's Chick-fil-A, so it's got to be good for you, or at least Jesus-y. So Johnny says that he wants a Dr. Pepper and a chocolate chunk cookie. 23 teaspoons of sugar. Thank you for those that counted correctly. Luke, you get some demerits for that. Dinner time. Mom, it's been a busy day, so rather than actually cooking something, she microwaves a frozen beef dinner, throws in some french fries and some ketchup, and of course a small dish of ice cream for dessert. Compared to the mid-afternoon snack, that's relatively healthy, but still adds 13 teaspoons of sugar. That's not even on that heavy of an eating day. That's an average day. But this kid has had now almost nearly 100 teaspoons of sugar. And let's be honest, you've had just as much as your child had that day, if not more. But what is the worst source of sugar out there for us? Soda, I heard it. Soft drinks. One can of Coca-Cola has 10 teaspoons of sugar. One can. That's more sugar than 2 frosted Pop-Tarts and a Twinkie combined. And the average American drinks 53 gallons of soda a year. That is 5,653 teaspoons of sugar. And no, I'm not going to do that. That's amazing. Now I know what some of you might be saying. It's okay, I drink diet soda. That's not all that much better. But you see, the problem isn't just sugar. It's also fat. You see, the body wasn't designed to digest heavy fats. So those heavy fats that we do eat have a tendency to settle in our arteries and clog them up. Can cause high blood pressure, heart disease. Studies also relate high-fat diets to some forms of cancer. That certainly isn't consecrating our body. In fact, again in 1 Corinthians it says this: when you eat, always do it to the honor of God. So what's the answer? Again, it's learning how we're eating it so that we can then make a lifestyle adjustment. And just like sugar, most of us are clueless to the amount of fat that we're actually consuming in a given day. So, move the sugar aside. Don't tell Amy I brought a plate from home. Although I think she's watching, so I think I just outed myself. Crisco. Because I wasn't going to bring in actual fat. So, let's do an adult this time, not a child. So, it's time for breakfast. 3 egg and cheese omelet. Fairly standard breakfast meal. But that has 7 teaspoons of fat. Right? All right. Don't worry. I thought about that. 7 teaspoons of fat for breakfast. But you also have some toast, buttered toast, of course, because who eats plain toast? I actually do, but I'm one of those weird people who don't like butter. Buttered toast and a glass of milk. 6 more teaspoons. Now, halfway through the morning, you're a little bit hungry. You're out walking around and you see the hot and ready light. It's on. And that is clearly a sign from God. So you get yourself a donut. 5 more teaspoons. Just one. Some of you had these this morning because I know I picked them up. Time for some lunch. Chicken a la king. That's not that bad, right? 7 teaspoons. Because you need a bigger Crisco. Not more than one napkin. So chicken a la king. But of course you gotta have something with you. You just can't eat chicken a la king. So you have some bread. 3 more. And I'm going to skip the mid-afternoon snack that I know you will have. So no mid-afternoon snack, we'll jump straight to dinner. 3 ounces, just a 3-ounce serving size of some red meat. 8 teaspoons. And of course, you're going to have a roll with your meat and some butter. Be another 3 teaspoons. You're going to have some salad dressing, another 3 teaspoons. Some potatoes and gravy, because you got to have some potatoes and gravy. That'll give you another 5. I'm actually running out of Crisco. A piece of chocolate cake for dessert. And if you're going to have a piece of cake, what do you have to have with cake? No, I'm not going to ice cream. You got to have something to drink for it with your meal. A glass of milk. So a piece of cake, a glass of milk. Touch my iPad screen with the wrong finger. This is why you should not do this thing. That will give you another 4 teaspoons. I'm not even trying to get 4 more out of this, but we're going to try. Getting very slippery. Might be a lot of leftovers today. One day. This is a 1 pound thing of Crisco. And every bit of that, every bit of this, your body can't digest. We're not supposed to eat more than 40 grams of fat a day. 40 grams of fat. That is 1 quarter-pound of cheese. And a Diet Coke that you had to try to save on the sugar didn't help that fat go down any. If you go to the movies this weekend, butter popcorn from a movie theater, it has the fat gram equivalent of 4 full days in one sitting. You see, the real wake-up call when it comes to sugar and fat, and as well as sodium, I'm not even going to go into the sodium, comes when we eat out. You see, when you eat out, it's even worse than what we have here. So I'm going to hit some restaurants. Let's start out somewhere and get something safe. Some fish. So, go to Applebee's. New England fish and chips. 1,930 calories. 138 grams of fat. 3,180 milligrams of sodium. It would take a 160-pound person a 3-hour hike to work that meal off. What if you want a burger? You go to Hardee's and you get a monster thick burger. 1,290 calories, 92 grams of fat, 2,840 milligrams of sodium. And that didn't even include the French fries. So you say, well, okay, I'll just stick with an appetizer and I'll get a vegetable because vegetables are better for us. So, it's a vegetable. Outback Steakhouse, bloomin' onion, 1,949 calories. 161 grams of fat, 4,100 milligrams of sodium. That's not going out back. That's growing out back. So you say, okay, I'll go somewhere healthy. So let's go to the Cheesecake Factory. And we'll just stick with some pasta. The Cheesecake Factory fettuccine alfredo with chicken. Now there's not any chicken posted there, but imagine some chicken on there. 2,300 calories. 103 grams of fat. 1,297 milligrams of sodium. You know, they do have a healthy section. If you've been to the Cheesecake Factory, there's a healthy section of the menu. So let's go to the healthy section. And you get the Cheesecake Factory grilled chicken and avocado club. I mean, avocado is a wonder drug. This is going to be good for you. Right? Yes. Not really. 1,750 calories. 28 grams of fat. That's a lot better than the others. But 2,306 milligrams of sodium. I don't know the price. Oh, fries, yes. You gotta get fries, and that's not even counting a piece of cheesecake. Who goes to the Cheesecake Factory and doesn't get the cheesecake? So is that all there is to being physically fit for life? Watching what you eat? Wising up about the sugar and the fat intake? No. You see, if you're going to be fit for life and treat your body as sacred and holy, then you're going to add at least one more thing. Exercise. In fact, the Bible actually tells us to do that. Exercise is good for your body. These words are worthwhile and should not be forgotten. And when the Bible says it's good for you, that's really an understatement. The importance of exercise is off the charts when it comes to physical health. And I know that we know that, but I'm not sure we know just how beneficial it can be. According to the Mayo Clinic, they did a study and they had headlines of what exercise can do for you. First, exercise improves your mood. Exercise releases a powerful hormone, an endorphin, into the bloodstream. And that endorphin effect can be felt for up to 2 hours after you exercise, resulting in increased energy and a better mood. Along with increased intake of oxygen, the endorphin works like a natural antidepressant. People who exercise handle pressure better, feel more confident, and are just plain happier. Second, exercise combats chronic diseases. It can prevent or manage things like high blood pressure. It can lower your cholesterol. It can help prevent type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, and even certain types of cancer. Third, exercise helps you manage your weight. When you exercise, you burn calories. Fourth, exercise promotes better sleep. Regular exercise can help you fall asleep faster, and then once you are asleep, it can help you sleep deeper. And studies show that it can also put the spark back into your sex life. According to a German study, because exercise increases circulation, it can even help you out with problems such as erectile dysfunction. And that's a phrase you thought you'd never hear in church. And the list goes on and on. Exercise develops strong and healthy bones. If you exercise regularly, you can lower your heart rate from 80 beats a minute down to 60 beats a minute. And that alone can save your heart 30,000 beats a day and 11 million beats in a year. In every single way, exercise matters. It's like taking Zoloft, Lipitor, Valium, and Viagra all at the same time. But get this, studies show that we don't do it. On any given day, only 16% of us participate in some form of exercise. That means on that same day, 84% of us don't. You know that gyms actually have their whole business model around this idea? A report on NPR says that gyms have more members than they could ever possibly accommodate. Planet Fitness averages around 6,500 members per gym. But most of their gyms can only accommodate 300 people. They do this because they know people aren't showing up. In fact, they're counting on people not showing up, being a member and then not exercising. And they can count on it because we don't go. So why aren't we exercising? That same study at the Mayo Clinic gave some of the top reasons why we don't exercise, and how all of those top reasons were false. Here's the first lie that we often believe about exercise. The first lie is, I don't need to lose weight, so I don't need to exercise. The benefits of exercise go beyond weight loss. So that is correct. That is a false statement. The second statement, I don't have time to exercise a full 60 minutes a day, so anything less just wouldn't give me the benefit. Studies show that even 20 minutes a day is beneficial. The third false belief is that I'm over 65, so why bother? You never stop the need or the benefit of exercise. The fourth false belief is that I don't have enough energy as it is. I can't afford to waste any more on some exercise. You know, that one almost sounds a little bit true in a weird way, but the truth is that exercise is what gives you the energy. Exercise is better than a nap for boosting energy and fighting fatigue. The fifth false belief we believe is that I used to exercise all the time, so I have a fair amount of health built up. Again, it almost sounds true. And in fact, a study was conducted of elite athletes who trained solidly for a year in order to reach those peak levels of performance. And then they stopped completely. Within 90 days, they had lost half of their aerobic ability. And a similar study was done on people like us, average people. They put them on a bicycle fitness program for 2 months, and every single person made dramatic cardiovascular improvements and boosted their aerobic capacity substantially. And then they stopped. Within 2 months, 60 days, they had lost everything that they had gained. They lost all of that cardiovascular progress. They were right back to where they started at in terms of physical fitness. The sixth false belief that we believe is that exercise makes me eat more, and I'm already fat enough. According to the Mayo Clinic, not only does exercise not make you eat more, in most people it actually reduces your appetite. And then finally, the final false belief that we believe is I used to exercise and I ended up gaining weight So it didn't help me at all anyway. You see, when you first start to exercise, you can, in fact, experience short-term weight gain. But that is actually a good thing. You see, if you gain weight through exercise, and you probably will at first, it's because your body is replacing fat with muscle. And while muscle may weigh more than fat, it takes up less space than fat. And that is what can make your body look toned. In fact, look at this picture. 5 pounds of fat versus 5 pounds of muscle. So yes, if you have the same amount, you may gain weight, but you're going to be healthier. And in fact, look at this picture. These two guys are the exact same height, the exact same weight, and they both have the exact same body mass index, or BMI. They don't look the same, do they? So I think we can see the reasons that we don't exercise just don't hold up. So if we're going to be physically fit for life, exercise, and it doesn't have to be overdoing it exercise. You don't have to look like a muscle-bound guy like that guy, but exercise in general should be a part of our lives. So what should we do? We need to make it a part of our daily routine. Find a place for it. Make a plan to follow through with it. And one of the simplest plans out there, and one that I think anyone can really follow, is known as the 30-3 plan. And it's simple, it's easy to remember, and it's simple to do. Exercise for 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week. And any fitness expert would tell you to do what you enjoy. You're not going to find me running for 30 minutes really any day for that matter. I'll play basketball, that's a different running. You know, I'm talking about running like straight in a line, distance somewhere. That's not going to happen with me. So whether you enjoy a team sport, golf, racket sports, martial arts, weight training, running, cycling, cross-country skiing, not necessarily here, swimming, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, do it. Because if we use a form of exercise that we enjoy, we will continue to do it. And a study was done on this in relation to something as simple as taking the stairs instead of the escalator. Let's be honest, over 90% of us have had the option of stairs and an escalator. We're going to hop on the escalator. It's just easier. But what if the stairs were made to be more fun to take? They actually did this scenario, and there's a video to show you what happened. So if it's just a little bit more fun, we will actually do something that we normally wouldn't otherwise do. But there's one more thing I would add to all of this, and it would be a fitness band. One that makes things, one of the best things that has come around in a while. I use my Apple Watch. But there's also Fitbits and a bunch of other things. But what I like about it is that it lets you know how you're doing during the day, how active you've been. And it even helps me if I'm sitting at my desk at 50 minutes after the hour, it buzzes my hand and tells me I need to stand up. So at 50 minutes every hour, if it buzzes my hand, I get up from my desk, I run down 2 flights of stairs in the courthouse, across the courthouse, and then run back up 2 flights of stairs back to my office. It takes me about 3 minutes to do that. But it gets me up and gets me some aerobic exercise. We often try to get that closest parking spot. Park further away. Take the extra steps. Take the elevator, instead of taking the elevator, take the stairs. What I like about my Apple Watch and fitness bands is that I can set a goal for how much activity and steps I want to get in a certain day. And then I can see exactly where I am. In an Apple Watch, you have 3 separate goals to try to hit. And I try to hit those every day. I don't get them every day, but I try to hit those every day. In fact, I think all of you should get an Apple Watch. I'm not doing this bid to help Apple. But the cool part about an Apple Watch is that we could actually connect our Apple Watches, and we can see how I can see how you're doing, and you can see how I'm doing on a day. And we can compete with each other, we can mock each other, and ridicule each other. It would be totally awesome. Privacy. We've given up privacy a long time ago. And one last thing, super quick, and this is mainly for the guys out there. Get regular checkups with your doctors. You see, we are bad about that. We're bad about not getting annual physicals and not getting those kind of tests that we know we should get, the colonoscopy and the PSA test. But if your wife is bugging you to get a physical, to get some of these tests done, and you're blowing her off, then what you're really saying is that you don't care about consecrating your body to God. You don't care about living a long life so that you can care for your wife, you can walk your daughter down the aisle, or hold a grandchild. You don't care about being healthy in the later years of your life. You don't care about stewarding what God has given you. It's selfish and it's stupid. So add all of this up. Know what it is you're eating and make sure it's not drenched in fat and sugar. Exercise even 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week. And get regular checkups. Those three things alone, as a lifestyle change, can make you physically fit for life. And that's what it means to not fixate, to not desecrate, but to really consecrate your body to God. Heavenly Father, Lord, I ask that you help us to make a decision to be physically fit for life. Help us to make those decisions that often we don't want to, but often we avoid. And help us to open our eyes that you want us to be healthy. You want us to be so healthy that we can then reach out to others. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, we won't be able to do your work here, Lord. So help us to make that commitment to being physically fit for life. In your Son's name. Amen. I didn't take into account that I was going to clean all this up.